So this is the Gerber Strongarm. Let's talk about the knife itself. It's got a glass reinforced nylon handle with a rubber overmold. It's 9.8 inches overall with a 4.8 inch blade length. It weighs in at 7.2 ounces. It feels really good in my hand. The handle is very grippy with that rubber overmold, and it feels like it's weighted right. It's got a black ceramic coating on it that you can see is already coming off due to some of the punishment that this knife has already seen in the gauntlet. Joe from Feral Woodcraft used it and cut nylon webbing in a car, cut car seats, also used the pommel on the back or the glass breaker to break through some glass. It held up really well through that. Mike Travis at Blue Mountain Bushcraft and Outdoors punched through a metal container with it, and that's probably what scraped off most of the coating. And John over at Wingman 115 bashed through a door with it. So it certainly has seen a fair amount of punishment, and it doesn't have any chips or nicks or anything in the blade. I did sharpen the blade back up to a razor's edge because I'm going to put it through my own punishment today. One of the things that is really hard on the knife is dirt, sand, and rocks. So we're going to do exactly that, and I'm going to build a Dakota fire hole with this knife. To make a Dakota fire hole, you basically dig a hole with an air chamber leading to it. It's a real efficient way of building a fire. It's efficient with the wood that you use. It burns for a long time as opposed to a fire that's built over the ground. It's also a way to conceal your location. There's a minimal amount of smoke with the Dakota fire hole and also a limited amount of light. The top of the hole can also serve as sort of a cooking surface. If you put green wood across it or maybe a stone off to one side, you can use that to fry or cook meat or fish over the fire. So if you were in a bug out situation, for example, where you didn't want to give up your location and you needed to build a Dakota fire hole and you didn't have a shovel, you might have to use your knife, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to dig a hole using just this knife, and we're going to see how well that 420 HC holds up with the abuse of sand, rocks, gravel, dirt, roots, and everything else that can be found when digging a hole in the ground. So if you had to use your knife to dig a hole, you're going to want to do all the wood processing beforehand to make sure that you retain that nice sharp edge for feather sticks and things like that. I have a ton of pine needles, a ton of small kindling wood, and some cedar bark for tinder, so I'm not really too concerned about processing any firewood. So I'm just going to dig a hole here about 10 to 12 inches in diameter and about a foot deep. Now that's going to take a lot of work using this knife, but it's going to be a really good test of how well it holds up. And then we're going to build a tunnel leading into that main chamber. You can see there's a bunch of rocks like this in there and a bunch of roots. So I'm about as deep as I want it now. Now what you want to do for your tunnel into this hole is you want to find the direction of the wind and then basically put that tunnel upwind so that the wind is blowing across the tunnel and then across your hole. So my wind is coming from this direction, so I'm going to build my tunnel right here and connect it into the hole. So I built my main hole about 10 to 12 inches in diameter and about a foot deep. And then I built another hole next to it and connected it via a downward tunnel. So the main fire will be here, and then the air to feed it will come from this tunnel. So I've got my pencil size, my pencil lead size, some pine needles, some cedar bark, and so I'm going to go ahead and try to get this fire started and build it right down in the main hole. You can see my smoke is blowing this way, so I have my feeding hole in the perfect position. And you can see the smoke goes away almost immediately. The wood burns very efficiently with almost no smoke because it's being fed with air from the other hole. Another nice thing about the Dakota fire hole is that it's easy to put your fire out, and when you're done, you can just cover the hole back up and no one will know you were even there. So you can see the Dakota fire hole is a pretty good way to efficiently have a fire, especially if you want to be concealed with the little smoke and the fact that it's underground and it's hard to see the flames from a distance. So how did the knife hold up? Pretty well, I'd say. Some of the coating came off, of course, with all the sand and the rocks and things like that, but the edge itself has no chips, dings, dents, or anything like that, and it actually does still have an edge on it. I'd say for all the abuse that we've put this knife through, it's a pretty good deal for $46. It's comfortable in the hand, it's comfortable doing numerous amount of tasks, whether it be urban related or wilderness related. The sheath is very nice, has a bunch of different mounting options, which make it cool, especially since it's ambidextrous. And overall, it's just a pretty nice, decent quality knife. The benefit of the 420HC is that it is easy to sharpen, especially in the field, so you could easily return this edge to razor sharp after all that abuse. It seems to have a pretty good heat treat on it because with all the rocks and roots and things like that I was digging through, there isn't one chip on the edge of this blade. There's a few little scuffs and scrapes in the rubber overmold, but that's to be expected with all the abuse that this knife's been put through. It comes with a very nice sheath with solid retention. It's not going to pop out. It's also got a retention button up top that you can put on there for further security. It is ambidextrous, so you can put the blade in either way, and it has a bunch of different mounting options, whether you want to mount it horizontally or vertically on your hip or on a pack. So if you want to see all the other videos on the Gerber Strongarm, I'm going to put a link below to the gauntlet. It's thegauntlet.tv, where you can filter by knife, so you can select Gerber Strongarm, or you can filter by channel and see all the videos according to your search. I'm also going to put a link to the Gerber Strongarm through my Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link does help out the channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, taking a look at something different that a knife can be used for if it was absolutely necessary. I hope you guys give this video a big thumbs up. Leave me some comments below. I do try to answer each and every comment that comes through on my videos. I always appreciate it when you share my videos to your friends on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. And as always, click that red subscribe button for more videos.